after designing a personalized workout plan for one of my coaching clients yesterday. He asked if he should start by using a lighter weight on the first set for each exercise and then gradually increase the weight that he's lifting for each set afterwards, or if he'd be better off just keeping the weight the same for every single set that he performs for each exercise. I think this is a great question. I'd really love to hear what approach you find works best for you. Now, when we take a look at keeping the weight the same for every single set that you're performing, what you'll typically find, and what is backed by the research, is that the number of reps you're going to be able to perform is going to decrease with each set that you're performing. Your performance is going to experience a drop off. So let's say you're with a dumbbell bench press, you're able to lift 80-pound dumbbells. In the first set, you can hit 11 repetitions. The second set, you may only be able to get 9 repetitions. Third set, you may only be able to get 7 repetitions. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. That is to be expected. Now, the closer you're training to failure, the steeper you're going to see that drop off in the number of reps that you're performing. So if you're training to failure with every single set, it may be 11 repetitions or 12 repetitions on that first set, 9 on the second set, only 6 on the third set. Like, you're going to experience a steeper drop off. When you look at this one research paper here, even with 4 minutes rest between sets, they still experienced a very steep drop off. Not nearly as steep when you're leaving 1 rep in reserve, and definitely not anywhere near as steep when you're leaving 3 reps in reserve. Now, I typically recommend anywhere from 0 to 2 reps in reserve is going to be great for most sets that you're performing. I would use 0 reps in reserve, so training to true momentary muscular failure sparingly. Save it for your last set maybe, and maybe not even with every single exercise. But I think 1 rep in reserve is a really good place to be, really, for every single set that you're performing. So nothing wrong with experience that performance drop off where you're keeping the weight the same, knowing and expecting that you're not going to be able to get as many reps with every single set, even if you're getting an adequate amount of rest between sets. Now, when you look at starting with a lighter weight, I think one of the advantages of that for some guys is that it just feels a little bit easier on their joints, a little bit easier on their body, and really helps kind of grease the groove, so to say, that you really get a feel for that movement, especially if you didn't do any warm-up sets leading up to it, which I'd kind of recommend. And it's almost like you're using this as a warm-up because it's a lighter weight, but still, you want to make sure you're taking these sets very close to the point of true momentary muscular failure. So if you're starting off with that lighter weight, you still want to keep it within 1 to 2 reps in reserve, and then you bump up the weight. And so let's say you start off with 80-pound dumbbells, you hit that 11 repetitions on that first set, and you're like, you know what, time to bump it up here, and you go up to 85-pound dumbbells, but now you're only able to get 7 repetitions because not only is it your second set, but it's a heavier weight. But you're like, that's cool, it's what I want to do, and then maybe bump it up to 90 pounds and you can only get 5 repetitions on that last set. That's typically what you're going to find. Now, again, it's going to be like, does that suit you? Does it feel best to you to start off lighter and build it up from there? Knowing that, yes, you're finishing off with a heavier weight. Someone might refer to this as kind of a last set, best set approach, especially if you're taking that set to failure. You're lifting your heaviest load and taking it to the point of true momentary muscular failure. That would be like a last set, best set. But knowing that that weight that you finished off with, you're not going to be able to perform as many reps. Even though you started off lighter, you're still not going to be able to perform as many reps had you started with that same weight for your first set there. So there's still going to be that performance drop off there. So the reason I would do that would be only because it feels good to you to start with a lighter weight. It does feel easier on your joints. It does feel easier on your body. You kind of work yourself up to that. That would be a good reason to start that way. Now, one approach that he didn't suggest in there would be a back off set. So you might start off your first 2 sets using that heavier load that you can only perform maybe 6 to 8 repetitions with, and then you finish off with a lighter weight that allows you to perform 10 to 12 repetitions. I think that's another fantastic approach. Like, it's one more set at that weight, your reps are really going to drop off there. So why not go a little bit lighter, do a few more repetitions, and it feels great. It's a good little pump at the end as well. So again, there's really no right or wrong here. They all work. It's all going to produce basically the exact same result in the end, as long as you're keeping it close to failure. If you're taking each of those sets, no matter what weight you selected there, and you're leaving 0 to 2 reps in reserve, it's going to be the exact same outcome. According to the research, it doesn't matter how much weight you're lifting, it's how close to failure that you're training. So load doesn't matter. Go with a load that's going to suit you best. And it doesn't have to be the same load with every single set, or it can be. Again, there is no right or wrong. So don't overthink this. Don't overcomplicate it. Just pick a weight off the rack, bring it close to the point of momentary muscular failure, and then decide from there. Do you want to go a little bit heavier? Do you want to go a little bit lighter? Again, bring it close to that point of true momentary muscular failure. You're golden. I don't. Again, it's tougher. It depends if you're newer to lifting and you're really experiencing progressive overload every single set. You're able to, every single week, or at least a few times a week, you're able to see progress the weight you're lifting. You can kind of keep things consistent and the same. But I personally prefer to just go by the feel, because it's going to be different for each workout, depending on how well I slept the night before, the kind of fuel I've put into my body, my level of stress, what's going on in my day. There's so many factors, how well hydrated I am, supplementation, like all these things can have an impact on my energy, strength, and performance in a workout. So I go with a weight that's going to feel best to me that day and that set. And I'm not afraid to kind of make adjustments and call audibles based on how I'm feeling. I'm just going to take those sets close to the point of true momentary muscular failure, and I'm golden. That's all that matters. So really, again, there's no right or wrong answer. Start with a lighter weight and gradually build it up. Keep the weight the same. Start heavier and then go lighter afterwards. It's all good. Go with what's going to feel best to you, and it doesn't have to be the same every single workout. It doesn't have to be the same every single exercise. You're going to find for isolation exercises, it's a lot easier to keep the weight the same each time. You're not going to experience the same kind of performance drop off with a tricep press down as you would a bench press. So it's going to depend on the exercise as well. So I hope that helps. Again, I'd love to hear what approach you find works best for you. Take a moment to drop it down in the comment section below.